Hello and welcome to my channel. In this math video tutorials, we're going to discuss matrices. Don't worry if in some cases you see it as matrix. It's not a problem. They are all the same. Only that this is written in the plural form and this is singular. It doesn't change the original meaning of it. Alright? So what exactly is this matrix? And why are we doing this matrix? Matrix is very important for essentially students who are preparing for JAM examination and also students who are in higher level and higher institution, especially those in 100 level or in polytechnics, those in ND1. This matrix is always very important for them to be able to pay attention and get hold of the information in it. So what exactly is matrix? What is it all about? What is the definition? So matrix is by definition, it is a rectangular array of number. So what is this arrays? Arrays is just talking about arrangement. So the rectangular arrangement of numbers. All right, or the rectangular arrays of numbers organized in rows and column. So don't worry if everything sounds new and strange to you. All right, I'm going to explain everything in details. All right, so what exactly is this rows and column? This is how I want to explain it in detail. If I have a matrix A, first of all, matrix A or matrix is always represented in capital letters. Then the elements of the matrix are always represented in small letter. So if I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. All right, these ones inside this box is what we call elements. Like this one is an element of the matrix A. A is also an element, B is an element. So any of these properties here is called an element of the matrix A. All right, so when you hear me using element and matrix A, you should be able to know that the content inside this box are what I call the element, whereas this one outside is what I call the matrix. I can represent it as B, C, D, Q, any of the alphabet you know already. Okay, so what exactly is this row and column? Let's explain all these parameters here. Rectangle is just the shape. You know about the shapes in mathematics. This rectangle, the triangle, the right angle triangle. You know about the circle. You also know about the square. You also know about the rectangle and a lot of them. Right, so this takes the shape of a rectangle, the way you're seeing these numbers arranged in a rectangular form. All right, so that's why we say a rectangular arrays of numbers organized in rows and columns. So what is this rows and column? The best way I want to explain what rows is or what row is all about is when you think of horizontal line, any line going towards this direction is called horizontal. So any numbers that are arranged in this horizontal pattern in a straight form like this is what we call rows. Then the ones that is arranged in a vertical form is what we call the columns. That is, if you have it going in this direction, maybe straight like this, is what we call the vertical. All right, so for this number, which one is the row and which one is the column? All right, it's very simple. Like in this case, we have all this one that is straight like this one arranged like this. We can just call this row 1. This one also, you can call it row 2. And this last one you're having here, you can call it row 3. You can see this direction, that's horizontal direction. Then this particular one like this, you can see it's coming in a vertical position, so we can call it column 1. This one is what we call column 2, and this other one is what we call column 3. All right, so now if I mention row and column, you won't get confused. All right, you already understand what rows and columns are all about. So the horizontal direction or arrangement of number is what we call the rows, and then the one that comes in this direction is what we call the columns. All right, so the next thing we're going to work on is to talk about the order of matrix. Let's put it down. Order of matrix, or order of a matrix. So what essentially is this order of a matrix? Where we're actually talking about how we usually arrange this matrix and how are we going to identify them by the time it is arranged. That's what we want to discuss. So let's say, for example, if I have matrix Z equal to, let's have some elements, say 1, 4, minus 3, 2, 1, 0, and let's leave it like this. So what is the order of this matrix? Of course, since you are now aware of what we call rows and columns, you will bear or you understand with me that this is row 1 and this is row 2. I mean, this row 1, this is row 1, and this is row 2. All right, and then we have here to be column 1, we have here to be column 2, and we have this to be column 3. So that is to say we have 2 rows. The rows we have is 2, there are 2, and then we have 3 columns. We have 3 columns. So what is this? What is the order? Now we know about the rows and the column. So what is the order? The order of this matrix now becomes 2 by 3. This is how we call it. So if they ask you what is the order of this matrix, just tell them 2 by 3. Why? It's because it has 2 rows and 3 columns. I hope that is well explained. Let me give another example to ensure that you digest everything. So if I have a matrix, say matrix B equal to, and then I have 2, 1, 0, 5. So what is the order of this matrix? And that is simple. So what do we need to do? We have to identify this as 1, first row, second row, first column, second column. So we have 2 rows and 2 columns. So this is 2 by 2 matrix. So if they ask you what is the order of this matrix, just tell them 2 by 2 because it has equal number of rows and column. Let me give you another example to see if you can really grab this. Let's say matrix Q has these numbers: minus 1, 4, 3, 6, 2, minus 3, 1, 5, 7, 11, 2, 1. Okay, so what is the order of this matrix? We have 1, 2, 3. That is the first row, second row, third row. Now what about the column? We have first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. So we have 3 rows and we have 4 columns. So this is what we call 3 by 4 matrix. So essentially what I want you to understand about this in general is that we list this row. We will list the row first and then the column. So whenever you see this, what you should be concerned about firstly is the rows. That's what we list firstly before we start talking about the column. That's why you see me being concerned about the row. Otherwise, if we consider the column first before the row, this would have been 4 by 3. But because we are concerned about the rows firstly, then you consider the columns. So take note of that. That will be very, very important as you are going along with this topic. So the next thing I want us to work on is the ability to be able to identify a specific element in a matrix. So the next thing we'll do is this. If I have a matrix of this form, say matrix T, and this T is equals, we have this element minus 7, 2, 0, 5, 1, be 1. So if I have this formation, sometimes we represent it like this. In some cases you see 3, 1. It's essentially the same thing with 3, 1 if you see it like this. All right, this is actually asking for the element. What is the element specifically of this matrix? So in this case, what is the answer for this one in identifying the elements? What do we need to do? Of course, you know, I have told you that we consider the row firstly before we consider the column. So in this case, we have 1 and then we have 2. That's the first row and the second row. And then we have the column 1, 2, 3. At this point, we cannot be able to identify this because this 3 is representing the row and this 1 is representing the column. So this example can work. This particular question can work when you have, let's say, V, matrix V equals, here we have 3 or 2, 1, 6, we have 4, minus 1, minus 3, we have 2, 0, 7. So this example can work fine with this because we have first row, second row, third row, and then we have first column, second column, third column. So in this case, you observe that we're having the third row and the first column. So the answer to that is 2. Let's set another example for this. If I asked you to find V 2, 3. So what is the answer? What do you think is the answer for this? So this is the second row and then this is the third column. So it falls on this plane. So we have the answer to be minus 3. What if I ask you what is the value for V 3, 2? So what do you think is the answer to this problem? It's also simple. What is I told you this is for row and this is for column. So what number of row is this? The third row. 3 falls under the third row and 2 falls under the second column. So this becomes the answer to this. So falling back to this particular one, if I ask you T 2, 3, what do you think is going to be the answer? Pause the video and drop the answer in the comments section for 1 minute. All right, having understood this basic concept of matrix, let's see into another important phase of matrix, and that is talking about the addition, subtraction, and the multiplication of matrices. How do we add two matrices together? For example, if I have matrix A to be equal to, if I have matrix A to be equal to 2, 0, 1, 4, and matrix B equals 1, 1, 3, minus 2, what is A plus B? So we can be able to add the matrix A and matrix B solution. A plus B is equal to, we can be able to add the two together because we have equal number of rows and columns. You can see this is 2 by 2 because we have first, second row, first row, second row, first column, second column. So that is 2 by 2. Similar thing here. So whenever you notice that the rows and the columns are the same, the number of rows is equal to the number of columns in the two sets or in the two matrices, then you can be able to add them together. So what is the pattern of the addition? It's just for you to add this first to this first one, this second to the second one, this to this and this to this. So we're able to have 2 plus 1, and then we have another one to be 0 plus 1, and the next thing we'll be having is 1 plus 3, and then the final one we have is 4 plus, we have minus 2 there. So we'll close it back. And then a plus b will be equal to, how do we add up this? It's simple. The normal way you used to add your numbers. So this gives us 3, and 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 3, that is 4. And plus will multiply by this minus to give us minus. So 4 minus 2, that will give us 2. And this is the result. So with this problem, we can also ask you to find a minus b. And how are you going to subtract this? It's simple. A minus b will be equal to, you can see that we're having this first one, subtracting this. This will also subtract from this, and that's the process you're going to follow. So we'll be having 2 minus 1. We also have 0 minus 1. We still have the next one to be 1 minus 3. And then the final one will be 4 minus, of course, we have minus 2 already. So what is going to be the final answer to this? A minus b will be equal to 2 minus 1, of course, is 1. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. And then minus multiplied by minus, that will give us plus. And 4 plus 2, that will give us 6. For those of you who may have issues about this, it's simple. When we have plus times plus, the result is plus. It's sine rule. So we have minus times minus, the result is plus also. And then minus times plus, the result is minus. And plus times minus, the result is minus. So just take note of that. That will be very important. Again, if you're asked to multiply 4 by set A or matrix A, say you should find 4B, and also maybe you should find 2A. This is I and this is II. So how are you going to find this? It's simple. 4 multiplied by, remember the question is 4B. Where is your B? This is your set, your matrix B. All right, matrix B has 2 rows and 2 columns, and so we're going to use this 4. This 4B means 4 multiplied by the content you're having there, which is 1, 3, 1, minus 2, minus 2. So essentially we mean that you should use 4 to multiply every of the content. So this becomes 4 times 1, 4 times 3, 4 times 1, and also 4 times minus 2. So what is the final answer to this? The final answer to this problem would be, what is 4 times 1? That is 4. 4 times 1 again is 4. 4 times 3, and that is 12. And then 4 times minus 2, that's minus 8. So that is the result for this. Can you pause the video and drop this answer? What do you think about 2A? So how are you going to position the 2 in order for you to be able to get the result? So pause the video and drop the answer quickly. While you're doing that, this is for you. Make sure you go through this carefully and then drop the answer in the comment section. I'm going to check through your answer and mark them. This is asking you to check for the order of the matrix. We have the first matrix, matrix M, to be equal to this. So you're supposed to know what order of a matrix is all about, because we've done it. If you can't remember, then watch the video from the beginning. You can be able to get the order. So make sure you put the answer to this. And while you're putting the answer, indicate if it is 1I you're working on. Then place the order of this. Is it 2 by 2? Is it 2 by 3? Is it 3 by 4? Is it 4 by 4? Let us know your inputs. And also do same to this, and this. All right. Then secondly, we have also discussed addition, subtraction, multiplication of matrix. So make sure you fix this. fix this, I need to know the genus in the house. So make sure this, I've not done A multiplied by B, but I want to see your input if you can be able to fix this. But I'm sure you can do this because we've practiced them. And make sure you drop your comment, like this video. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that when I post new video you get notified. Thank you for watching the video. I am Instructor Allison, a maths and science tutor.